Week 4 football is here, and welcome to the Gadsden Times Kickoff Show. I'm Teddy Couch. This is Kevin Taylor, and we are getting pretty deep in region football.
We certainly are, Teddy. We're almost, for a majority of the teams in our area, they're 2 weeks into the region slate. So things really are starting to get tight. Some teams have been able to take a bye week, and others are still moving right along into the region schedule. And just looking ahead to this week, here are a few games that we're going to be highlighting tonight. Coosa Christian hosts Decatur Heritage in a key region game. Etowah is at Southside, another key region game. Gadsden City at Bob Jones. Gaston hosts Woodland. Glencoe hosts Walter Wellborn. Hoax Bluff is at Anniston. Sardis hosts Douglas. Westbrook will host Ohatchee. Albertville will be at home against Coleman. Alexandria will be at home against Crossville. And Boaz will be at home against Pisgah. So we've got a good number of teams that will be at home, a few on the road. There's some key games out there that really could determine, and I know this is early to say, but could determine whether a team hosts a playoff game or whether they're on the road in that first round. And you can ask any football coach around the area, they don't want to be on the road in the first round of the playoffs.
Absolutely. You know, last week, this is out of our coverage area, but you had Hewitt beat Hoover. You know, a game that could mess up that region, their region like that game kind of did, is Piedmont at Weaver.
Right.
I mean, if Weaver could upset Piedmont, then that just throws a whole mess into things right there.
I mean, all of a sudden you got a tailspin going on.
Absolutely.
You know, and so then you start getting into tiebreakers and everything else. So, you know, some games that you know, I feel like they're pretty well foregone conclusions. But then there's some others out there that we'll touch on here in a few minutes that will have major implications in terms of the playoffs. You know, and be sure to join us Friday night, right around 11 o'clock. We'll be on Facebook Live, and you guys can chime in with your questions, anything that you have to ask us in regards to what happened Friday night, or even looking ahead. And we'd be more than happy to answer those questions. And like I said, we'll go over, you know, we'll review everything that's happened on Friday night, and then maybe even look ahead a little bit. But be sure to also go to the GadsdenTimes.com and check out all the photo galleries, videos, previews, and game stories that we'll have there at the GadsdenTimes.com.
Absolutely, and like you said, we hope you join us, and we want to hear from you, so please join us. But as far as tomorrow night goes, Coosa is off their bye week, and they are hosting our 1A Region 7 Decatur Heritage.
Yep.
That's a big one. That's probably a good timing for that bye week for the
I think it was, Teddy, I think it was a good week for Coosa to kind of lick their wounds, if you will, a little bit. You know, Decatur Heritage comes in. They lost 41-20 to R.A. Hubbard. You know, 2 weeks ago, Coosa lost to R.A. Hubbard. And so, you know, Decatur is playing pretty good football. They just ran into a buzzsaw with R.A. Hubbard. I mean, for those who remember back in the days when they used to be Cortland used to be a fine football team. And I think, you know, R.A. Hubbard continues to be, I think, the class of this region. I would not be surprised. I'm pretty well banking that they'll end up finishing #1 in this region. Decatur Heritage, you know, they're playing to try to host a playoff game. Coosa, they need to get into this and really be a player if they even want to make the playoffs. But as far as I'm concerned, I see Decatur Heritage winning this game Friday night.
Yeah, I'm going with Coosa. I mean, that'll be 2 straight region losses for them, but I think they're going to be okay moving forward. They've just run into 2 straight tough region opponents.
Yep.
You know, Glencoe, their tough region slate continues. They're going to be playing Wellborn Friday.
Yeah, lost last week to B.B. Comer 40-7. They've got Walter Wellborn. Walter Wellborn ran into sacks, and as you know, we've talked about before, this region has the top 3 teams in the state right there. And so, you know, we did a little bit of moving with Sachs having moved up to #1, and then you've got Piedmont and still Randolph County in that play. And so, but Walter Wellborn, they're playing pretty good football. Glencoe, they've got to find some offense, and I really like Walter Wellborn to win this one.
Same here. I mean, Glencoe struggled to start the season. Wellborn's playing some pretty good football early on. I'm going to take Walter Wellborn in this one as well. Sardis coming off 2 straight losses. They're going to be playing 5A Region 6 opponent Douglas. I think this is one where Sardis gets back on the winning side of things pretty big here.
Yeah, easily. Douglas 0-3, lost to Crossville 31-7. I see Sardis winning going away.
I mean, I think Sardis comes back, and not only do they win, I think they win in a big way, which is going to be huge for their confidence after losing a tough one against Southside, and then shutting out Sardis last week. So this is going to be big for the Lions.
Yeah, this will be a good bounce back week for Sardis.
And then you got number 2 Hokes Bluff traveling to Anniston for a Region 6 game.
This, on paper, Hokes Bluff's, number 2 in the state, 3-0, playing really good football. Anniston 2-1. They lost last week to Cleburne County. Heflin isn't what it used to be, and so, but you look at it on paper, and it could be an interesting matchup. But right now, Hokes Bluff is just by far and away playing really, really good football. I like Hokes Bluff to win going away.
Knowing Coach Rob over at Hokes Bluff, he's not going to let his team overlook Anniston.
No.
Hokes Bluff's going to continue to play Hokes Bluff football, and I got Hokes Bluff winning this one pretty big as well. Gaston, they're going to be hosting 2A Region 6 opponent Woodland, both looking for their first region wins.
Yeah. Gaston last week, they fell to Sylvania 24-8. Woodland, they lost to Ramburn 41-0, and Ramburn they're a pretty good team, but I wouldn't say they're the class of the region. This could be an interesting football game. The last time these two teams played was back in 1987, and Woodland lost 35-6 to Gaston. I kind of see history repeating itself. I see Gaston getting off the losing schneid and picking up a win Friday night.
I think the big thing for Gaston is getting going offensively. 20 points for Gaston so far on the season, and they really need to eliminate mistakes. Penalties so far has hurt them. I know they had a touchdown called back after a penalty and a big punt return, both by Cameron Hawkins called back. Things like alignment issues. They had 2 interceptions late in that game, and Swain Morris said that big reason that was for the alignment issues and turnovers.
Right.
They got to eliminate
turnovers.
That stuff.
Kill you.
Yeah.
They will absolutely kill you.
But they got a great backfield in Cameron Hawkins and Lane Talbot. Great lightning thunder combo there. But the thing for Gaston this week is they're going to be with that quarterback Josh Campbell. He went out last week with an arm injury, and he will not be back this week. So Garen Brown's going to step in and take his spot. Even though they're going to be out their starting quarterback, I have to think Gaston's going to get the win here.
Yeah, for a few years, Woodland was really at one point Woodland played for a state championship, and then all of a sudden, as everybody knows, the talent comes in waves, especially in your classifications like 1A, 2A, even 3A. They're going to come in waves, and I think the talent wave is kind of down for Woodland right now. So, like I said, I like Gaston to win this. It's going to be a close ball game. I would say it's going to be 21-17.
Yeah, I think that's a good score. It'd be big for Gaston. They got to put points on the board and stop getting in their own way. If they do that, they can absolutely score some points in this one. Now, if you would have told me Gadsden City and Bob Jones would be playing each other and neither one have a region win yet, I would have called you crazy.
Yeah, shocked would be the word. Bob Jones, I really thought at this point of the season that they would honestly be at worst 3-1 coming into this game. Gadsden City 0-4. Having seen them twice now, to be quite honest, I'm not surprised that they are 0-4. There's some issues there. Offense, they're just not quite getting it in terms of, you've got a great running back like Jamontez Woods, but then you need somebody to complement him, and they just don't seem to have that complement to him, whether it be another back or another receiver, somebody who really needs to step up and be a playmaker and be kind of a safety valve, if you will, to Woods, because everybody right now knows if you stop Jamontez Woods, you stop Gadsden City, and that's what everybody, you know, the book's out on Gadsden City. So, you know, somebody's got to step up for them. You know, Bob Jones, last week they lost to Florence, and I was really surprised by this. They lost 39-28. So, you know, but I think Bob Jones just has a little bit more than Gadsden City does. I look for Bob Jones to win. Gadsden City is going to drop to 0-5. I can't remember the last time Gadsden City was 0-5, if ever, in the school's history. You know, a few weeks ago we kept saying if they were 0-4 or even 0-3 and still even winless because of their tough schedule, that there's still that chance. But until they can get some kinks worked out on offense and defense, mind you, because last week when they lost to Austin 31-10, that first half, the defense looked just absolutely lost. And I don't think Austin was really throwing anything just outside of the box at Gadsden City. So, you know, Gadsden City, they've got to get it together, and they got to get it together quick. And if not, you know, they could be over and even, you know, battling to even try to get into a playoff push. And it's got to start this Friday night if they're going to get in that conversation.
You was talking about getting a complimentary somebody for Jamontez behind them. I really think that it's got to come in the passing game for them. You know, they're coming off one of their best offensive performances, although the scoreboard didn't show it, 237 yards, 213 on the ground. Jamontez had 100 of those, and Deontay Jones had another 80 on the ground, and he's a solid running back. But they got to get it going passing the ball.
Yeah.
Whether it be Macon, who is, you know, battling injury right now, still up in the air whether he'll play Friday or not, or Jalen Robinson, they got to get it going in the passing game.
Yeah.
Because everybody's loading the box. They know what Gadsden City's going to do, and they're just stopping the running game. If they can get it going through the air, it might open some things up for them.
Yeah, they've got to have another weapon besides the running game, because if you don't, it's just, especially in 7A, you've got to have some safety valves out there.
And Gadsden City, kind of like talking about Gaston, Gadsden City's got to get out of their own way, eliminate turnovers. You know, they fumbled a punt last week, and I want to say Bob Jones ended up taking advantage of that, and then Gadsden City threw a pick six late. Yeah. So that stuff can't happen, especially when you're struggling on offense. But I'm with you. I got Bob Jones winning this one as well. Yeah. Westbrook, they got a chance to take that next step against Ohatchee, number 4 in 2A.
Wow. You know, big game Friday night. This probably is one of probably the biggest in our area. You know, before coming in, you would have thought maybe the Etowah Southside game would have been the game of the week for this week. But I tell you, this Westbrook-Ohatchee game, this intriguing ball game, Westbrook's playing really good defense. You know, got into a bit of a scoring match with West End last week, but then ended up winning 62-35, which, you know, 35 points, I think probably was the most points that they've given up in one game than they had the entire season. So, and then Ohatchee comes in 3-0 and having beat Cleveland 45-6. You know, Ohatchee's playing pretty good ball. Westbrook's playing really good ball defensively. Mm-hmm. And if they're going to have a shot against Ohatchee Friday night, they've got their defense is really going to have to step up even one more notch. They're going to have to probably play the best ball that they have so far this season. Ohatchee's just going to be Ohatchee, and I'm going to give the slight edge for the road team in this game. I think Ohatchee just has a little bit more than Westbrook does, so I like Ohatchee in this one.
Talking about Westbrook's defense needs to step up. Ohatchee's scoring 46.7 points a game. You know, everybody talks about Ohatchee's offense and how explosive they can be, but they're only giving up 11 points a game as well. So Westbrook's offense, you know, is going to have a tough task ahead of them as well. I'm with you. It's tough to go against Ohatchee in this one. You know, I think Westbrook's going to give a good fight, but I think Ohatchee kind of pulls away as this game goes along. But Westbrook, I think they're here to stay, and they're definitely going to, you know, they're going to be good for playoffs.
They're going to be a major player in terms of this region as far as getting into the playoffs. Ohatchee, you know, who knows? You know, things could change. You know, crazy things could happen. Turnovers, big part. So, you know, if you know, Ohatchee gets a little sloppy, you know, then I'd have to favor Westbrook, because Westbrook plays really sound football. The one thing that I've heard, and this is the book on Westbrook across the region, is that Westbrook does not beat themselves.
Right.
You have to beat Westbrook. So Ohatchee has to play a clean ball game, or if they don't and they get into turnovers and they get into a turnovers deficit, then you know, Westbrook could win this ball game, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If that happens.
Right. When you play clean football, you're always going to give yourself a chance. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of clean football, that's all Etowah's done all year. I mean, but you know, Southside comes into this one, they're 1-2. Etowah's number 2 in 5A. They're 4-0 and 2-0 in the area. But you got to look at Southside. They're 1-0 where it counts in the region.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, 1-2 coming in, took a week off last week. A good time to take a week off to prepare for Etowah, to see what they, you know, what they would do against Sardis. You know, I quite honestly did not see Etowah shutting out Sardis. I thought this was going to be a close ball game, but I didn't see Etowah being 36-0 better than Sardis. Southside, you know, you've got Cap Bothwell, and he's running well. The quarterback for Southside is getting better week to week. You know, the one thing that he's got to do is he's got to run the offense and not put his team, don't make a mistake. Don't hurt your teammates. Don't hurt yourself. Just run the offense, do what you need to do, and good things can happen. Mm-hmm. But you know, Etowah, that defensive line could be one of the better defensive lines in 5A, and probably one of the better defensive lines maybe in the state.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that about Southside quarterback Michael Rich Jr. I talked to Etowah coach Drew Knowles. He said the same thing. He feels like Rich is improving week to week. He's doing a good job running that offense, doing what he's supposed to do. And Cat Bothwell for Southside, that's gonna be a tough stock for Etowah, but they've done it week in and week out, stopping good running backs.
Sure. And I mean, Bothwell, he's a shifty guy, you know, and so his movement laterally and to avoid the tackle, you know, they're going to have to get a good angle in order to get him down. And so, you know, still I like Etowah to win this game. I wouldn't say that they're a 36-0 winner over Southside, but I would say that Etowah is probably a 24-14 winner.
I mean, Etowah's only given up 7 points in the last 3 games. They have scored a non-offensive touchdown in every game this season, and most of those multiple. I mean, they're scoring not just offensively, they're scoring special teams and defense. I mean, it's insane watching those guys in every aspect of the game. Southside struggled a bit offensively this year. I want to say they scored 35 points all season. But I'm with you. I see this one being more of a low-scoring game. Southside's defense is always tough. I mean, and then you combine that with this being a very intense rivalry, and now it's more than just bragging rights. It's now, you know, with the region contest, that makes it, you know, even more intense. This is going to be a fun game, great atmosphere over at Barney Hood Stadium. But I'm with you. I look at Etowah winning this one. Their defense they're just so tough, and it's going to be hard for them to move the ball against them. If they can get Michael Rich going through the air, that's going to give them a good shot to open up lanes for Cat. But if they can't get it going passing, it's going to be hard for them to move the ball. Yeah,
and if you're going to the game Friday night, I would recommend you get there early, because this game probably will be standing room only. And if it's not, it'll be a major disappointment, because these are 2 fine football teams playing in your county, in your area, and if you've got nothing else to do on a Friday night, then you need to go out and you need to see this game.
Absolutely. And, you know, be sure to check with us on GadsdenTimes.com. Friday night we're going to have photo galleries, we'll have videos, we'll have stories from all the games. I know I'll be at Etowah Southside. It's going to be a fun night of football, and we hope you join us also on Facebook Live tomorrow night around 11 o'clock. We'll be recapping the games, taking your questions, and we hope you join us tomorrow night as well.
Our time is out. We thank you for yours. We'll see you down the road.